Hi and welcome to Happy Creating. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a cornucopia, where we'll focus on overlapping, shapes, and drawing highlights. You can either choose to use a colorful piece of construction paper and construction paper crayons to add color, or you can choose any white drawing paper and regular crayons. You'll also need a pencil and a Sharpie to outline your shapes. So let's get started. We're going to start drawing our image with a pencil. In the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to start drawing small circles that touch that represent grapes. We're going to try to fill the bottom corner with those circles. Next, we're going to add a leaf to each side of the grapes. Next to the grapes, we're going to draw a curved line for a pumpkin and then a stem. We're going to add curved lines to the stem to add texture and curved lines on the pumpkin to create the ridges of the pumpkin. Next, I'm going to draw the corn. So first I'm going to draw the husk and then a curved line for the corn and then another husk for the other side. On the inside of the corn, we're just going to draw repeated small squares, just rows of small squares until your entire piece of corn is filled in. Now we're going to use our pencil to draw the cornucopia. So we're going to draw a curved line that stretches from the corn all the way to the top corner. And we're going to curve it around to make the end of the cornucopia and then make a curved line down all the way to the grapes. Now we're going to add curved lines that stretch across the cornucopia. And we're going to fill the cornucopia with those lines that stretch up and down, remembering not to draw over or crisscross over any of the other shapes you've drawn. Now we're going to use Sharpie to trace over our pencil lines, so you'll really start to see the image come alive. So trace over your grapes, the leaves, the corn, the pumpkin, and your cornucopia with your Sharpie marker. And then next we're going to move to construction paper crayons to add color. I'm going to start with the purple crayon and start adding purple to each grape. I'm going to color in each grape, and then I'm going to use white. And on the right side of each grape, with my white construction paper crayon, I'm going to add a highlight to each grape. You're going to continue this until every single grape is colored in. So again, color in all of your grapes purple, and then use your white crayon to go back in and add highlights on each of your grapes. At the end, I'm also going to go back in with my purple crayon and color in between each grape with my purple. Next, I'm going to do the leaves. I'm going to use a dark green construction paper crayon to color really, really closely to each of the Sharpie marker lines. I'm almost outlining the Sharpie marker with my dark crayon. And then I'm going to use my light green crayon to fill in the empty spaces and to add some highlights to each of the leaves. And here's when the light green crayon comes in and we just fill in the rest of the spaces to add the highlights. I'm going to start to color the pumpkin next. I'm going to use a dark orange, a light orange, and a yellow. The dark orange I'm going to color really close to the Sharpie marker lines. And then I'm going to use the medium orange to color right next to the dark orange. And then the yellow to really create form on the pumpkin. So let's see that again on the next ridge. So start with yellow. And then with the lighter orange, blend it in with the yellow to start creating some form on your pumpkin. And then finally the dark orange crayon in the middle. And you're going to repeat that for all of the ridges of your pumpkin. You're going to also then get a brown crayon for the stem and color your stem in brown. I colored a little bit lightly, so that when I'm done coloring the stem, I can add some white to just add some highlights and form to the stem. Now I'm going to use some yellows and browns to color the husk of the corn. So I'm going to go in and color each space of the husk in with yellow first. And then, using my white crayon, I can add highlights. You can do the same thing with a brown crayon and white highlights. I'm going to do the same thing on the other husk. Color it in yellow and then use white to add some highlights and form. Next, I'm going to start coloring in the corn. You can really color in the corn whatever colors you'd like. I'm going to use some yellows, oranges, and browns. And I'm just going to spread those colors out and just try to make different colors, multicolors throughout the corn until I am finished coloring in all of the spaces. Now I'm going to go back in with my dark green and light green and finish coloring in the other leaves. And finally, the last step is to color in the cornucopia. For that, I'm going to use brown, and I'm going to start by making a line of brown on the right side of each space of the cornucopia. So on each of those curved lines, I'm going to start adding brown on the right hand side. And then I'm going to do that for every single one. Add brown on the right hand side of each space. And then I'm going to take my yellow crayon, and in the middle of each of those curved spaces, I'm going to add yellow. So to every single one of those spaces, it's going to go brown and then yellow. And then the last color I'm going to blend in to help give our cornucopia some form is the white construction paper crayon. But first you can finish drawing and coloring with the yellow construction paper crayon in the middle of each of those spaces. And then I'm going to use my white construction paper crayon last to blend in with the yellow. And that's really going to help give our cornucopia a little bit of form and shape. And I'm going to add that white on the left side of each of the curved spaces of the cornucopia. And I'm going to continue this process until all of those curved spaces are filled in with brown and then yellow and then white. I hope you enjoy drawing your cornucopia. Happy creating!